Hello everyone, it's my pleasure having you once again on this segment on newspaper review here in First Next News Port Harcourt. I am Kings Ojalo. I will be taking you through all our newspaper headlines within the country. Sit back, relax while I take you through. Now we will be starting with the First Daily newspaper. Boldly written on the First Daily newspaper, we have Dangote allegations rock oil sector as Tinubu replaces NMDPRA, NUPRC heads. Now we also have gunmen kills 12 at Plateau mining site in fresh bloodshed. Now moving ahead, Nigeria buys 24 Italian fighter jets in 1.2 billion euro defense deal. Now we also have Fubara. I met 600 billion naira in Rivers Treasury after emergency rule. Still on the First Daily, we have EFCC seizes $3.4 million, 280,000 euro fake notes in Osun, Lagos raids. Now we also have Ibom air set for international flights after April 2026. Kayumu. Now we have police arrest 300, recover 2,000 arms in Anambra crackdown. Now we still have on the First Daily, reps move to reshade elections, adapt electronic voting for constitutional changes. Now looking at the Daily Monitor, boldly written on the Daily Monitor, NMDPRA boss resigns amid corruption allegations. NUPRC CEO quits. Now, still on the Daily Monitor, we have protest, what we discussed with Tinubu, that's coming from the president of NLC. You find that in page 4 of the Daily Monitor. Also on page 4 of the Daily Monitor, FCDA demolishes Abuja estate in spite of court order. Insecurity, ONSA refutes claims of Army Mayati Allah in Kwara. You find that in page 5. Now, moving to Edo State, PDP fought Okpebolo economic policies, alleged government draft total failure. You find that in page 4 of the Daily Monitor. Now, we also have Tinubu to present 2026 budget to NASS on Friday. Now, to the next newspaper segment, we have the Matrix newspaper, boldly written on the Matrix newspaper. Revenue remittance delay. Customs commence penalty enforcement against hairy banks. Now, still on the Matrix newspaper, at last, Burkina Faso releases detained Nigerian soldiers. You find that in page 3. Tinubu nominates Ayansa Mohammed as NUPRC, NMDPRA CEOs. Now, on page 2, protest, what we discussed with Tinubu, NLC president. Now, moving to the Punch newspaper, boldly written on the Punch newspaper, we have again, Burkina Faso frees detained Nigeria soldiers and aircraft. That you find that in page 15 of the Punch newspaper. Insecurity, federal government, NLC to meet in January. Find that in page 2 of the Punch newspaper. 4 investors push for Lagos Calabar Highway concession. Now we also have salary debt. Service purge 105% of government revenue. You find that in page 9 also in the Punch newspaper. Petrol war fallout, boldly written, NMDPRA, NUPRC bosses resign as Dangote petition rocks sector. Find that in page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Jam to accredit 1,039 CBT centers for 2026 UTME. Find that in page 3 of the Punch newspaper. Fresh storm browse over new tax laws. You find that also in the page 3 of the Punch newspaper. Now, in page 15 of the Punch newspaper, federal government bans wood exports, revokes license. We also have in page 7, Malami kicks after EFCC raid Kebbi Abuja homes. Now, moving to this Daily Sun. On the Daily Sun newspaper, we have NLC rise of political leaders. Also, tax reforms. Reps alleges alteration of tax laws. We also have boldly written on the Daily Sun, upstream, downstream oil agencies, CEOs resigns. Now moving to This Day newspaper. On This Day newspaper, Tinubu seeks 43.56 trillion naira budget reset to end multiple spending cycles. Now we have ONSA. We have not provided arms to any social cultural organization. Claims is false. We also have in sudden turn of events, federal government announces resignation of NMDPRA, NUPRC CEOs. Moving to the next newspaper, which is the Vanguard newspaper. Court bars IGP, NPF from enforcing tinted glass permit policy nationwide. That is on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Now also on the Vanguard newspaper, federal government confirms releases of Nigeria aircraft soldiers after Toga meets Burkina Faso leader. Yes, we also have Tinubu writes NASS, which is NAS, seeks approval of 43.56 trillion naira reenactment budget. You can't tax hunger, opposition tells Tinubu. You find that in page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Dangote quake, Farouk falls. Find that in page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving to the Guardian newspaper, boldly written on the Guardian as well, tax reforms push back revenue crisis, threatens 2026 fiscal plans. That is in page 6 of that newspaper platform. Then we have fourth lines, threatens constitutional reforms, concessions as reps votes today. Again, court asks IGP to suspend tinted glass policy. That is in page 5 of that newspaper platform. Now moving to the leadership, we have reps to address alleged discrepancies between bills passed, gazetted tax laws. Akpabio meets U.S. envoy amid troops partial travel ban on Nigerians. That is in page 4 of the leadership newspaper. Farouk Ahmed Gbenga Komolafe resigns as downstream upstream oil regulators chiefs. Now we also have gun kill 12 miner in Plateau. Find that in page 16 of that newspaper platform. I think moving to the Daily Trust. Yes, boldly written on the Daily Trust. Tax laws altered. You find that in page 3 and 4. Tinubu to present 2026 budget to National Assembly tomorrow. Now we also have government kill 12 miners in Plateau State. President replaces NMDPRA, NUPRC bosses. You find that in page 5. That's all we have on this segment on newspaper review here. First Next News Port Harcourt. I am Kings Ojalo. Many thanks for being with us. Say bye for now.